Hello all, and thanks for tuning in to COVID Conversations by way of Zoom for WNCU 90.7 FM. I'm Kimberly Pierce Cartwright, the News and Public Affairs Director here at WNCU. We're using this platform to ask about how the virus is affecting our world. The guest today is Bill Whittington, owner of the Blue Note Grill in Durham. Hello and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Kimberly.
Hey, you doing good?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Hey, you're looking good, sir.
Well, I clean up some. It's kind of early, but I'm good.
Hey, we got to get up and get it done.
Yes.
I wanted to talk to you about the Blue Note Grill, and I have a preamble here. Governor Roy Cooper recently announced phase 2 of the state's reopening plan, and that plan is extended. That means that bars, gyms, movie theaters, and other entertainment venues are ordered to remain closed. State health officials and the governor say that while the number of COVID-19 cases in our state is stabilizing, numbers remain high. Cooper says moving into phase 3 now would cause a spike in cases, potentially moving us back to phase 1. So I want to start out, Bill, by asking you, what do you think about the statement that the governor made in making the pronouncement that phase 2 would continue?
Well, I mean, we were hoping we could move into phase 3 because that just gives us a few more options. But we kind of figured with the numbers the way they were that it wasn't going to happen. And it's fine. I feel bad for the businesses that cannot open, like the gyms and the bars and places like that, because they're struggling hard. I mean, rent is due regardless. You still have overhead, you have bills, and a lot of those guys have no income whatsoever. And they're just, we're going to see them go away. We're going to see it, and, some of these businesses close and not come back. And that's going to be, that's sad to see that. But, at the same time, we have to do what we have to do. So
tell me how your business is doing. What are you able to do under phase 2?
All right. Well, I'll give the background. So we closed, to the public on March 17th. We've been doing to-go and takeout since then. And then I think around early June, we were able to open at 50% capacity. So right now we are open. You can come in and dine in. We have a large outdoor area. You can sit out there as well. A lot of people prefer that when it's cooler. Right now it's so hot. Everybody wants to be in the air conditioning. But so we have our tables. Our tables are spread out, very limited. Our capacity is 288, and right now the way we have it set up inside, we're only seating about 40 people at one time, and then outside we have another 40-ish as well. But not that many people are in there at one time. Usually we have about 40 people on a busy time. So and what we're doing, what has affected it. So, we started out those first couple of weeks just to go and take out. Our business was off about 75%. And then once we've opened up, we're up to about a 55, 60% drop in business. So we're operating, way below where we have been. And we're operating below where we need to be on a week. We're in the hole basically every week still. So that's kind of what it's done to us. And, we keep trying to figure out ways to, sell a little more product. Fortunately, to go and take out has been really good. And, we're trying to drive that more. That's one of the best ways because we do contactless, we do curbside. You can drive up. You can order online on our website, drive up, pick it up, we'll bring it to your car. You pay online, so there's really very little contact if that's an issue. So that's what we're doing now. We're business is way off, and quite frankly, I don't know when it's not going to change. It's not getting any better anytime soon. So that's where we're at.
So tell me, with your being able to have some clients or some customers come in, and what are you doing to protect them in social distancing? What are some of the measures that you're taking to make sure that people are safe?
Sure. So we check our employees' temperature at the start of each shift. And then we do ask them if the questions, like if you've been to a doctor or whatever lately, you get, have you been out of the country? Have you been around anybody with COVID? So we ask a series of questions. If anybody has a fever of 100.4 and up, they go home. If they feel bad, that we tell them not to come to work. So we do that from a personnel standpoint. We're also wearing gloves. Everybody's wearing gloves and masks. And then for the customers, we've spread the tables out so they're sitting far apart. That's why our seating is so limited, because we do have it spread out way out. I mean, we only have maybe 5-6 tables in our big room that we're utilizing, and then we have a few on the patio, and then we have our outside area spread out enough. We've got 6 tables out there that we can sit people at. So it's very well spread out. We have walkways that keep people away from other people, and then you can come in the front door, go out the side door. So we try to limit, everybody's contact as much as possible. And then, like I say, all our staff is wearing gloves. We come through, we wipe down all the public areas, on a regular basis with the bleach mixture, the railings and the door handles and the fixtures in the bathrooms and all that stuff. So we're constantly sanitizing. We do a lot of sanitizing in our kitchen. And we're utilizing, the sealed to-go type silverware. It's not silverware, plasticware.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do a lot. When the folks get up from their tables, we sanitize everything, the chairs, the tables, the menus that they use, we throw away. So we do a lot.
What about your employees? Have you had to lay off many of them? Have they been able to come back to work? What's the status there?
Yeah, before this started, we were busy. We were very busy, January, February, and then when March hit, we had to cut way back. We kind of weren't sure how long it was going to last, what to do. So we ended up laying off about 15 employees. We were at 34. We're at like 16 now. So we roughly laid off half our staff. We kept a lot of our core folks on board, and then we just kept rolling from there. We were able to get the Small Business Administration PPP money. That lasted for about 10 weeks. We don't have that now, so we're trying to figure out how to get our revenue up so we can continue operating. Right now we're operating at a deficit every week, and that's not a sustainable way to run a business. So we keep trying to figure out what to do, and hopefully our congressmen and senators are supposed to be working on a new bill for some support and relief, and hopefully they'll get that passed. It should have been passed already. I don't know why they're taking so long, but they need to get this out there, because there's not just us. There's thousands and thousands of businesses and people out there that need support. This is not something we created. This was something that was, this was thrust upon us somehow or another. And, businesses need support from their government, from their local, their state, and the federal, if we're going to have these businesses survive.
So I want to talk a little bit about help coming from government, and I want you to talk a little bit about the Save Our Stages Act and the Restart Act that is currently in Washington, where senators and other lawmakers are introducing legislation that would help. If you don't mind talking about that.
Sure. So we're a restaurant and music venue. We do live music 6 nights a week. Right now we have no music. We haven't done really music since March 17th. And that's the core of our business that drives what we do. And then there's other venues out there like Motorco, Cat's Cradle, Poorhouse in Raleigh. that are just straight up music venues that rely solely on people coming in and watching shows, ticket sales, and their bar revenue and that sort of thing. Those businesses like that are closed, completely closed. They've been closed since March, and they have no income, no revenue, no nothing. And so what's going to happen, and what is happening, is we're seeing places like that close, and they're not coming back. And which means, jobs are going to be lost. Music, the places for musicians to play are going to be less. I think one of the statistics out there is like a third of all music venues will be gone. And so a group of independent venue owners, it's National Independent Venue Owners Association, got together, started this association in order to get a voice out there, because we had no voice, really. There was no association out there speaking for us. And, in this world with lobbyists and all that kind of stuff, you got to have a voice out there to get in front of people and let them know you're here. And so this association started up, and it is blown up. I mean, there's, thousands of venues that are on board, musicians, booking agencies, promoters, concert halls, just all kinds of places. And so they put together a list of things that, we could use to help stay open. And so the Restart Act is kind of, in a nutshell, it'll be business grants to venues up to 45% of their expenses, kind of thing. So it would give these venues a cushion to continue to pay rent, because a lot, your rents and your mortgages, all that stuff is coming, it's still due. And the banks want their money, and so these guys need assistance, and if they don't get it from the government, they're not going to get any, and they're out of business. So, and that's basically what it is. We've band together. We've been sending and contacting our congressmen, our senators, all over the country. And so just this past week, we had a, what was that? The call of action day. And so we sent out hundreds of thousands of emails and contacted, all these representatives. And this past week, we were fortunate that, the two that we were focused on was, I'm part of a smaller group of North Carolina, South Carolina. And we had, just this past week, Senator Tom Tillis signed on board as a co-sponsor of the Restart Act, and Lindsey Graham down in South Carolina signed on as a co-sponsor of that as well. I'm not sure if any others have signed up. I know those were two biggies that we wanted, where we're going after, the big names. And, Amy Klobuchar is one of the ones that's involved with this. I think she's one of the original writers of one of these bills. There's two. There's a Restart Act, and then there's the Save Our Stages Act.
Save Our Stages.
So they kind of all blend together, and it should be part of this bill that they're working on now in Congress to pass. And similar to the PPP type money, you get percentage of the business you need, a percentage of the dollars you need to keep your business afloat until things turn. And that's basically it. There's so much that is happening with all these venues that it's devastating. I mean, you think about all the musicians that were touring and traveling, they're not anymore. They're out of work, all of them, every one of them. And those guys depend on doing shows and what have you. So, they need help. The venues need help. And it's critical. I mean, music is a huge part of our area, and all across the country, it's just a big part of what people do. They go to shows, they listen to music, they love music. Music's heals the soul, so to speak.
Yes.
So if we see all these places go by the wayside, There's going to be all these people out of work, all these musicians out of work, and it's devastating. It's devastating to this industry.
I want you to, in our last couple of minutes, talk to the governor of the state of North Carolina. What would you want him to know at this point? And just take a couple of minutes to do that.
Well, I think about this. My wife and I talk about, my wife and I work together at the restaurant. And, we talk about this a lot, and we've had this roller coaster of emotion. And, I come home, I'm depressed that there's not enough business. Next day I come home, I'm just mad. I'm just mad that this is happening at no fault of my own. It'd be different if I made dumb decisions and put myself into this position. And then we're out here, and then the governor is, they're just telling us to close. And, I think to a degree it's important, but at the same time, people should have an opportunity to try to run their business in a safe way. And if they can't do it, then you can shut them down. But if you're going to close us down, you're going to shut people down, limit their abilities, then you need to support them. Prop them up somehow or another. We had to shut down. We didn't sell any alcohol up until June, or limited. We could still a little bit to go, but that's not a big part of what we do. But we still had to pay our $1,800 liquor license in June, and my liquors and beer, wine, and liquor business is off 95%, and I still had to pay full amount, $1,800. So I mean, we got the federal support. We've gotten decent support from federal. But a lot of the stuff that's thrown out there is loans. I'm not a 30-year-old restaurant owner. I'm looking at the I don't want to say end of the line, because it's not the end of the line, but I want to, at some point get out of here. I don't want to saddle myself with a bunch of debt to stay open, to lose money every week just so I'm here. So it's really a catch-22. So, businesses need support from our government, our local, our state, and our federal. The state is not given, I don't see any support at all coming from them in a way of helping and any kind of relief, none. But they're the ones that are keeping us limited. So I think if he's going to do that, then let's get some kind of support out here for these businesses. I mean, there's, we'll survive one way or the other, but there's other businesses out there that won't. I mean, we had one close, Rudino's, a restaurant in Durham, closed just last week. There's more coming. I mean, it's getting worse. It's not getting better, and it's harder for people harder for these folks to stay in business. And like I say, it's not just my business. There's thousands. And it's affecting people all across the board. So, if we're going to continue this path that is going to keep us very limited, then we do need support for the people, working people, business owners, that sort of musicians, that's kind of where that's what I have to say. It's like, it's time to step up and, start helping people.
Okay. We're going to have to leave it there. And
okay.
Bill Whittington, our friend here at WNCU, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it very much. Yes, and good luck to you. Yes.
If I could say one thing, we are open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. for takeout and dine-in. So, hey, stop by. We have barbecue ribs and burgers, and they're all good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Yes, be well.
All right, thank you.
And this has been COVID Conversations here on WNCU 90.7 FM. I'm Kimberly Pierce Cartwright, your host. And thanks again to our guest, Bill Whittington, and we will see you next time.